And there he stood, stretched to a pillar, bound hand and foot, naked. Blood was coursing down his back and buttocks. His skin had split against the whip, and with each lash he convulsed as the Roman soldiers took turns releasing their rage. The arena cheered and the violence escalated. Jesus, Yeshua, collapsed. And yet the soldiers continued. Finally, they released him and he staggered, falling to the ground. Jerking him back to his feet, they threw a purple robe over his shoulders. Clothe him for his coronation, they jeered. A soldier in mock symphony put an imaginary trumpet to his lips and made the sound of a royal entrance. How's this for a crown? Another sneered, holding up a wreath of thorns. More laughter teetered through the crowd as they placed a crown of thorns upon his head. Thorns popped through the skin of his forehead as they took a large reed and began to beat it into place. His knees buckled, his body sagged. Blood spurted out over his face and shoulders, running down his chest. The arteries in his neck pulsed violently and he gasped for breath. "Remove his beard!" someone yelled. And they tore his beard from his face. Calvary, the crucifixion, was not pretty. Finally, after what seemed like eternity, they shoved him through the archway toward the balcony where Pilate sat. It was then I noticed footprints on the palace floor. Blood red footprints. The words of Simon in the temple filtered through my mind. And a sword shall pierce your heart. And I felt the thrust. The road to Golgotha was wet with his blood. I knelt and touched it, knowing his life was in it. The crowd surrounded the hillside, and as always, the spectators came. And yet, he remained alone. Golgotha, the place of the skull, it seemed to stare at me hauntingly. Its eyes were sunken, its mouth gaping as if taunting and mocking. Maybe I just imagined it, but I thought I heard it laugh. The crowd parted and I began to climb to the top of the hill. Already I could see he was hanging on the cross, and they had chosen to nail him there. Inside, my mind was screaming, yet my lips were closed. There was not a part of him left unbruised. And for one moment, I thought perhaps, this is not my son. The sky began to darken quickly. At first, I thought it was just a storm rolling in, but then I realized what was happening. Darkness has a way of hiding sin, and this was the most evil of all evils. They had taken all his clothing from him, even that which covers the most private. I saw the shame that crossed his face and his eyes closed. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I moved to the foot of the cross. Jesus' feet hung within reach of my hand, and I stood on tiptoe and I kissed his calloused soles. These were the feet that had walked Golgotha. They had gone where humanity refused to go. These were the toes that I had counted as he laid in my arms underneath Bethlehem's star. I wanted to take him down off the cross and hold him against me. I wanted to wake up and find this was only a nightmare.